The oncoming defenseman Murphy.
Everyone must be familiar by now with the concept of shadow swinging or shadow punching. In essence, they are little rehearsals that you perform, where you go over the things to be done and remind yourself of the things which should not be overlooked. If paid attention to, such exhibitions could be quite revealing. They could also be rather educational, since they provide a glimpse behind the facade and allow you to see what he or she deems essential and important enough to be rehearsed, and what isn't. Here is a look at one such shadow swing in the making.
Getting the body to turn all the way, getting the hand to come all the way around so that they're both facing towards the non-dominant side. And now that we have that framework and we've started to develop it as a pattern, Kirby, go ahead, go to 25% speed, please. And Kirby's focus is going to be different now. Now that we've trained the full length of swing and she's consistently going there, we're going to focus on something
After all
different.
is said and done, we end up with a rather elaborate ritual, which consists of pushing the racket all the way around and over the shoulder, transferring the weight from the back foot to the front, pivoting the torso 180 degrees, and so on. Among all the chores on that to-do roster, only the actual striking of something seems to be missing. Even a hint of such a notion is nowhere to be found. But instead, what is being cultivated is an idea that the ball can be struck without actually being struck. That striking is not some simple, direct, and natural action, but rather is a collection of some convoluted and arbitrary machinations, which must be executed somewhat like a cooking recipe in a particular order. The origins and the validity of such way of thinking about striking are rather murky, but its appeal is almost universal. The believers are well represented on all levels. But thankfully, a different point of view on the subject does exist, and there are those who will express it with the shadow swings of their own. Here is a shadow swing which is radically different from what we have seen before. Apparently, this particular individual sees the situation quite differently. His little rehearsal is abrupt, very concise, and does not extend past the point of contact with the ball. I guess in his mind, his job is done right there and then, and there is no point in swinging the racket any farther, nor pivoting his torso to make it face the other way, or throwing his racket over his shoulder. All such, quote-unquote, essential elements of the stroke are conspicuously absent from his rehearsal. Probably because he knows full well that the path of the racket, whatever it might be in the end, will be determined and shaped not by him, but by the forces he has generated and set in motion at the very beginning. All in all, one will have to decide for himself what exactly to adopt, borrow or steal, or possibly avoid at any cost.
Now. Oh. No, no, no,